She was standing on the edge of a bridge at 2 a.m., and the only thing stopping her wasn't courage. It was something way more dangerous. By the end of this, you're going to understand why the bravest thing you'll ever do might look like nothing at all, and why most people never figure that out. Her name was Elena, 29 years old, graphic designer, lived alone in a studio apartment with plants she kept forgetting to water. Normal, right? Except for one thing. She hadn't left her apartment in 4 months. Not once. Not for groceries. Not for air. Not even to check the mail. And here's what no one tells you about fear. It doesn't feel like fear anymore when it becomes your entire world. If you're someone who's ever canceled plans last minute because something inside you screamed, "Don't go." If you've ever felt your chest tighten at the thought of doing something everyone else finds easy, then you already know what Elena was living with. Except she'd stopped calling it anxiety. She called it being realistic. So what changed? Why was she on that bridge at 2 a.m.? Hold on, we'll get there. But first, you need to understand the math she was doing in her head. Every morning, Elena would wake up and calculate risk. Going outside, 87 things could go wrong. Staying inside, 3 things could go wrong. Simple decision. Except the 3 things were killing her slowly. And she knew it. Week 12 of isolation, her sister stopped calling. Week 16, her boss sent the final warning email. Week 19, she looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back. But here's the thing about fear. It's a fantastic negotiator. It told her, just 1 more week, just until you feel ready, just until the world feels safer. And Elena believed it, because fear had never lied to her before. Until it did. On day 121, her mom had a stroke. Not life-threatening, but serious. And Elena couldn't go, physically could not make her body move toward the door. She sat on her kitchen floor for 6 hours, phone in hand, mom's name on the screen. And this is where it gets uncomfortable, because Elena realized something that most people never admit out loud. She wasn't afraid of dying. She was afraid of living wrong, of being seen and judged, of failing in public, of existing in a way that didn't meet some invisible standard she'd been chasing her whole life. People like us usually think fear is about danger. It's not. It's about humiliation. So, how did she end up on that bridge? This detail changes everything. Day 122, 3 p.m., Elena's phone buzzed. A voicemail from her 6-year-old niece. "Auntie, Grandma said you're too busy to visit. That's okay. I drew you a picture. Mom says you probably won't see it, but I hope you do. I miss you." Elena played it 17 times. And somewhere around the 12th time, something cracked. Not the fear, the obedience. Because here's what no one tells you. Fear doesn't go away. You just stop letting it make decisions for you. That night, Elena walked to her front door. She didn't open it. She just stood there for 40 minutes. Then she went back to bed. The next night, she did it again. 45 minutes. The night after that, she touched the doorknob. This wasn't courage. This was something quieter. Something that doesn't get talked about enough. If you've ever thought bravery is supposed to feel like a surge of adrenaline and confidence, you're wrong. Real bravery feels like doing something while your body is screaming at you to stop. It feels like betrayal. Like you're breaking a promise to the part of you that's been trying to keep you safe. Day 129, 2 a.m. Elena walked outside. Not to the hospital. Not to the store. To the bridge 4 blocks away. The one she used to walk across every day before the fear took over. She stood in the middle of it. Cars passing. Wind cold. Heart pounding. And she realized nothing catastrophic was happening. She wasn't dying. Wasn't collapsing. Wasn't being judged by invisible eyes. She was just standing there, alive, in the exact situation fear had convinced her would destroy her. But here's the part that messes people up. She didn't feel victorious. She didn't feel healed. She felt tired, because fear doesn't lose gracefully. What happened next is what this whole thing is really about. Elena went home, and the next morning, fear was still there, whispering, bargaining, pleading. But she got dressed anyway, walked to the hospital anyway, hugged her mom anyway. And this is the thing. Stopping obedience to fear doesn't mean fear disappears. It means you stop waiting for permission to live. People think healing is about feeling better. It's not. It's about doing the thing even when you feel terrible. Elena still has hard days. Days where leaving the house feels impossible. But she leaves anyway. Not because she's braver now, but because she finally understood the real cost. Every time she obeyed fear, she lost a piece of the life she actually wanted, and no amount of safety was worth that. So here's the disturbing part. Right now, there's probably something fear is telling you not to do. Something small, something that feels too risky, too vulnerable, too uncertain. And you're listening, not because you're weak, but because fear has convinced you that obedience is wisdom. Elena stopped believing that on day 129. How many days are you on? And what are you waiting for permission to do?